Okay, as promised in my previous video, my non-klaine the first time review, which was kind of actually bad. I forgot to mention the warblers. I feel so bad for not mentioning them. I'm really happy to see them back. That's pretty much all I have to say about that. But also, I'm so happy for Kurt that he got his solo. Finally! Yes! Uptown Girl is amazing! Woohoo! Getting that out of my system. Okay, here is my lovely little ranty rant about grilled cheeses. Just, I know it's been like a while since that episode aired. And for those that don't know, Grilled Cheesus was episode 3. Correct me if I'm wrong. Of season 2. It was a very emotional episode, taking on a very tough subject about spirituality and, you know, who believes in God, who doesn't believe in God, and we find out, you know, practically almost all of the Glee Club sort of believes in God, sort of, and that Kurt is an atheist. However, I refuse to believe that everyone in that Glee Club besides Kurt believes in God. Just saying. Because there were so many missed scenes. Every time Kurt talked about God, or talked about him in like some sort of way, the way he believed, you see Artie agreeing with him. They show scenes of Artie, and Artie looks like, you know, total bromance right there. Why is it that they didn't have a scene together? I will never know. It could have been awesome. Because Kurt needed somebody to be there for him. Think about it. There are so many things that were left unsaid for Grilled Cheesus. Like, was he staying at home? Was he taking care of things by himself? Was he staying by himself? Who was keeping an eye on him? He's still a kid. Whew! And there could have been, like, such an opportunity for, you know, Kurt and Artie to talk. Because those two characters don't really talk often. And I was just, the whole episode, I was looking for that, and that never happened. And so, thank God for fanfiction, I would have gone nuts. But, like I was saying before, there are so many questions that were left unanswered. I mean, I love this episode, don't get me wrong. I cry every time I watch it. I just, oh my gosh. Because I can somewhat, I mean, my dad's never had a heart attack or anything like that, or an aneurysm or whatever, but he almost did, because he had to get a bypass. I think triple? I'm not sure if it was triple or double. But, and he beat the Widowmaker. If he was any late going to the doctor, he would have had a heart attack and died. So, I kind of can sympathize with Kurt a little bit on that level of how scary it is to nearly lose a parent. But it was a beautiful episode. I mean, I cry whenever I see Chris Colfer cry, or should I say Kurt. I cry whenever Kurt started to cry, and it was just, I felt emotionally like drained after that episode. I was like, I need my eyes, I cannot cry any more than I just cried. But there were so many things that kind of, like, after watching the episode numerous times, there were so many things that I felt were, like, not answered. Like, I mean, Kurt and Bert, they're the only two that live together. They live, you know, Kurt doesn't have another parent. And we've never heard of any of his other relatives besides his Aunt Mildred that apparently is an alcoholic. Because, if you remember, when April Rhodes gave him that thing, he said, it smells like my Aunt Mildred. So, we don't know, you know, if his grandparents are still alive. We don't know who he was staying with. I mean, I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, I'm not sure if I got the ages right. Either he was 16 or 17 when that happened. Technically, he was still a kid. You're not an adult till you're 18. So, and, you know, how he was, I was just presuming he's staying at home, because where else would he stay? I mean, if he was staying with Carol and Finn, Finn would have known that something happened to Bert instead of hearing about it in gym class. So I was really kind of disappointed that there, and I think the main reason why Kurt sided with Sue, not only because, he didn't want to hear about God and whatnot, but also because she actually reached to him. I want to be your champion. Basically saying, I want to help you. And then in almost every Glee Club scene after, like choir room scene after that, Kurt's sitting by himself. What kind of friends are that? I mean, like, if I was his friend, I'd be sitting right next to him. I would be trying to be there for him as much as possible and not make him go to church. Sorry, Mercedes, but you get like an F on the friend scale there. If you should be able to accept Kurt you've accepted that he's gay. You should be able to accept that he doesn't believe in God. It's his decision. You shouldn't have to, the only way for you to be able to help him is to force him to go to church. This episode, when I really think back on it, I love it. I love it so much, but the fact that Kurt had to practically go it on his own really killed me, because he needed some sort of a support system in there. Not even the teachers. I'm surprised Mr. Schuster didn't ask him, how Kurt was doing about the whole thing, and just the thought of him, given what we were given, just the thought of him basically spending all of his nights, in the hospital by his dad, or just going home to an empty house, that kind of, not good. But all in all, I really loved Grilled Cheesus. I just felt like there was a lot of empty holes in that episode and stuff. And I know this is going on really long, and if you're still here, congrats, you made it. But the next two videos, I added another one. I'll be doing a review of the Klaine version of my review of the first time, and also a review of original song, because I love that episode. Okay, before I start talking about that one, I'm going to cut this one off. So, if you're still watching and you made it to the end, thanks, friend.